and open it up to questions. House Enrolled Act number 1200, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, authored by Representative Jim Pressel, sponsored by Senator Mike Kreider. You can clap. Thank you, everyone, for coming in this afternoon. You know, we clearly know Indiana is the crossroads of America. I always tell the story. Many years ago, meeting with FedEx in my hometown, and that would have been about the time I think was elected state representative, and told me about our state, how it reaches more commerce in 2 days of ground transportation. I thought that was kind of abstract, and starting a logistics business down in southern Indiana, our whole state is basically in that kind of sweet spot. So we're going to have a lot of trucks coming through our state. When you're the #1 state for advanced manufacturing per capita, obviously the place that logistics companies are going to be headquartered in, and everyone's going to be passing through. It's very clear that you got to be qualified to get a CDL. And it's very clear, too, and this bill punctuates that illegal aliens must never receive a CDL. Indiana is taking decisive action to make sure this never happens. Indiana will revoke the CDLs of drivers who are illegal immigrants. Indiana will revoke any other CDLs where it's not properly gotten, but this is about that particular subject. Will penalize the companies who employ them. Hoosier families have experienced the tragedy that comes when individuals who never should have received CDLs are behind the wheel. The new law is highlighting this instance through House Enrolled Act 1200. It strengthens the process in general for CDL licensing. It enables the state to remove CDLs from illegal aliens, and it creates new penalties to crack down on non-licensed drivers and the companies that employ them. And I think that latter part is important. I want to thank Representative Jim Pressel, who says we're the first state in the nation to put this kind of bill out there. To me, that's impressive. We're getting acknowledged as a state that does the first on a lot of things, and when you're the crossroads of America, that is important. Senator Mike Kreider and Attorney General Todd Rokita for their leadership on this issue. It's not the beginning of our crackdown on illegal aliens driving commercial vehicles. We recently completed an audit of Indiana's non-domiciled CDLs. State is in the process of removing hundreds of illegally licensed drivers from the road. Last year, we teamed up with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security on Operation Midway Blitz. This was a joint operation with the Indiana State Police that resulted in the arrest of 223 illegal aliens on Indiana highways near the Illinois state line, including 146 truck drivers. Our highest duty is the safety of the citizens of our state and our country, and through strong enforcement, we will keep our roads and highways safe. This is just the beginning. So thank you all that were a part of it. And now I'll take any questions you might have on the issue.
The BMV says that they've already removed, I think, 1,800, close to 1,800 non-domiciled licenses. What safeguards are in place to ensure that legally authorized non-domiciled drivers aren't wrongly penalized?
So there'll always be process and needs to be because a lot of immigrants legally here drive trucks. They understand the language. They understand what it needs to be a certified commercial driver's license holder. And we're just going to make sure that with our own enforcement efforts, and we started doing that way before, the bill passed, we're going to keep, and we're going to be the state that is going to have the most potentially coming through their state. So we're going to keep doing it until we find that the incidence of it is less than where we started, and that job could take a while.
Governor Braun, do you see this as the springboard towards a legislative push to go after and revoke the licenses of bad actor CDL academies themselves, the people that are training these drivers?
I'm going to be up for doing any of that, and to me this is the start, because if you are getting a CDL from a faulty place that's not adhering to what's needed to have it, and the percentage is very low. But a lot of these that we intercept coming through our own state are issued in other states. And it's going to take their enforcement and legislatures if we're going to get this taken care of across the country. Because if they're doing it in other places and causing the issues in places that are at least taking care of business in their own backyard, it needs to be comprehensive. I can't give you that number, but we're going to ferret out who might be a part of it. I hope when we look in our own state that it's not going to be the source of it. We know where a lot of them have been, that we've been confronted, is places where they're not putting the proper training behind a CDL or the common sense requirements there ought to be if you get one. And I think those states will stand out more and more, because if they're coming from a few places, this is going to tell us where they're coming from, and hopefully they'll take care of business in their own state.
Have you had a chance to recently speak to any of the families that have been impacted by some of these high-profile fatal crashes that have taken place in the last few months?
So when they occur, either through our own state police, through us as state government, we're going to interface with those tragedies then. We will continue to do so. The sad thing is, it looks like to get to the bottom of it, it's going to require action beyond our state. We're going to do everything we can here, since more than any state, we're going to be running across individuals that are pushing the envelope. But you see it across the country, and it's a tragedy every time it occurs, and it's avoidable.
Can you say at all, is this, we heard about the 1,800 drivers already impacted. Is this move going to impact our ability to get the proper trucking we need?
No, because I don't think anyone here would ever embrace employing somebody with a faulty CDL. And from what I've seen, most of this is from out of state, but we're going to make sure none of it's happening here as well. I think we know where it's coming from. Indiana is just going to be a really good place to ferret it out because of how much commerce passes through our state. So thank you very much for coming in on this issue. Appreciate it. I think we're doing another one tomorrow, and we'll entertain questions on that bill and other items as well. Thank you.